Welcome, welcome. Jamie Hernandez here, founder of Breakthrough Yoga Coaching Method, helping you bridge a gap between your spiritual practice and your business. And so today I wanted to do a meditation that is called Chaos to Beauty, Chaos and Beauty. I've been supporting a lot of our clients, a lot of people with all of the dealing with the pain, the disbelief, the horror of what's happening in Israel. And one of the practices that we've been practicing is our ability to feel that pain, feel that chaos, feel that part of us, and the ability to feel the beauty, the love in the world, the hearts of people, because it is important that we understand here on earth we are living in a dualistic experience where there are extreme polarizations of insanity to ultimate beauty. And so in order for us to function in a way that we can move forward is to be able to learn how to hold both and, because there's both and, because if we only go into helplessness and despair, which sometimes we do, when we do emerge or when we need to be held in those moments, if we don't expand our capacity to hold beauty, to hold love, to hold awe, to hold wonder, to hold miracle, to hold innocence, it's very hard. It's very hard to, it's very challenging not to spiral downward without necessarily, and to function, right? And I'm not saying you always have to be this picture perfect person that has to function, all good, but it is not useful for yourself or your other people in your life if the only thing you're doing is dropping down into despair. Again, we're all human. We're allowed to feel the pain. We're allowed to feel the despair. But we also can expand into beauty and into grace and into deep trust in life. So one of the very first things we do is we always take a moment. So take a moment now just to feel what you're feeling. Not think what you're feeling. So go into the body, drop down, and give yourself a moment to feel what you're feeling. And just name that feeling. And maybe you don't know, maybe it's confusion, maybe it's just a sensation like tension. And so one of the antidotes in this meditation that we're going to practice is to start to shift from this area down to this area. So from this area to this area, because our mind can think and think and think and think and feel like it's going to find some answers, right? But we want to balance that out by moving from this area and moving down into the center of our chest. So take a moment now, breathe in, breathe down, and just notice if you can feel the difference between being up here in your attention, in your body, and being down here. Breathe in, and if you can't feel, imagine, breathe down into your chest. You can even put your fingers down there. Breathe in and breathe down into your chest. Inhale, exhale, and give yourself a moment to land in your experience. And this is the challenge of this work. It's like we kind of have to slow down to really see and feel what is my experience. So continue to land in your body. Land on the ground. Feel your feet, feel your sitting bones. Land. Breathe in and land. And like as you kind of come into your home, into your vessel, just kind of notice what is there. Feel it in the body. Name it if there is an emotion that is very obvious to you. And if you're not sure, just I'm not sure, I can't name what the emotion is, but I can feel tension here. I can feel tingly here. I can feel so breathe in, breathe down. And for a lot of us, we've been feeling a lot of pain, a lot of despair, a lot of confusion, a lot of disbelief. Right? A lot of my clients are feeling that way. Now, not everyone, but this is the overwhelm of this week. So I've been helping a lot of people with that. And so if you give yourself a moment just to kind of like sit with it, like as if it's you're coming into your house, into your home, and you're just allowing it to sit beside you. Whatever that feeling is. And simply saying, okay, you're welcome. You're welcome in my home. Breathe. Again, as you exhale, shift down into the center of your chest. And take a moment now to decide, well, what else is there? What else do I want to experience other than this experience? Maybe you're not experiencing anything, right? Maybe there isn't a pain. Maybe there isn't this depth and grief. But we also have to decide, well, what do I want to experience? So take a moment, like, to, again, not from here, don't search from here, but come down into the center of your chest and ask yourself, what do I want to experience? What feeling do I want to experience? Awe, beauty, wonder, trust. And then imagine now, as you move down and into this heart space or into this center of your chest, just imagine now that I'm speaking to all of your cells. And we're allowing all of our cells to vibrate at that feeling. What is that feeling that you're wanting more of? What comes to me is laughter. And so in my cellular makeup, I want you to imagine now you're breathing into the chest, but you're also expanding and letting all the cells tingle with that feeling. And you give yourself like, okay, so let me let the cells tingle with that feeling. Through my skull, in my face. Let the cells of my throat tingle with that feeling. At the back of my neck tingle with that feeling. Let my shoulders and my traps tingle with that feeling. Let my chest and all my internal organs tingle with that feeling. The back of my body all tingling down. Every time I breathe, it's almost like I'm allowing that pulsation of that feeling just to enter my cellular makeup. And start to increase the volume of sensation and start to lower the volume of the mind. every time you breathe, go into the sensation, go into the tingling vibration of the feeling you want to experience. Move it into your pelvis. Move it down into your legs, your knees, all of the cells. Down into the shin bones, down into the ankles, all the way to the tips of your toes, your toenails, your fingernails, your hair. Search for areas in your body that are not as tingly as you want, like maybe the tips of your ears, or your eyes, or your eyelashes, or your eyebrows, or your lips, or your nose, or the skin on your cheeks. Feel that tingling sensation. And make space. And allow that space to enter into your energetic vortex. So we have this energetic force field all around us. You can imagine like a little bubble all around you. And as you breathe, I want you to continue to imagine that you're filling all of that energetic field. We all have one. We all have one. You know, when somebody talks, you feel their vibration, the way they feel. Start to imagine that energetic field all around you being filled with that feeling that you want more of. Front, back, side, up and down. Okay, and this is not an intellectual experience. Just because you've decided something or you've journaled on it, you now must embody it and energetically permeate it into your field. So that's why we're moving from here to here, down, into the heart, into the chest, into the center of the chest. Sometimes heart, we have a lot of energy around that, but this is the area. And again, you can feel, go down to your chest bone. And then from that center, every time you exhale, you're permeating, you're radiating, you're vibrating, you're pulsating that feeling. So now I'm like imagining all of the atoms and the cells just like laughing, because that's what my word was, laughter. And we have to give it space. We have to allow ourselves to move into an experience. It's not a thought. It's not something that we ticked off because we thought about it. So for those of us who are experiencing overwhelm pain, or whenever you do, because you're human, you're going to, we can also hold that in our heart. So for the brothers and sisters who are suffering in Israel, we can hold that into our heart. And we can hold a prayer that the angels bring them into heaven, or whatever you want to call their journey into the light, back into love. And that our angels, our spirit guides, also surround us so that we can continue to permeate a frequency that can hold the pain, the unimaginable, the deep prayer that will move into the collective. It is also the place where we can take clear action. Right? When we're only in pain and grief, which is okay, I'm not saying not to be there, but if we're only drowning in that, it's very confusing, very hard to take any action, and we get really exhausted and tired. And again, all of it is allowed, all of it is permitted. But I give you this practice so that we can also hold space for ourselves, because that's kind of where we have to start. Right? If we're experiencing deep anger, disbelief, like whatever it is, we need to understand how to hold both polar opposites. So maybe you can even energetically feel that, like, oh, the pain, and oh, the laughter, the beauty, the trust in life as a whole. And that frequency can hold our experience. So you take a moment now to energetically, just like around your energetic field, just seal it with a golden light. Again, just imagine it. Some of us will feel it, some of us will see it, some of us will just practice imagining it, because that's where everything starts anyway. Physical form starts in the imagination. And then here, I want you again, drop from here down into your heart. So it's like the mind is always going to try to come in, and that's fine, you know? So we're just kind of training the mind to just focus itself differently from a linear, emotional, trying to figure things out state to this place here. And even tap there, touch there, just like, oh, this place here. And so let's just do that. We just tap this area. And now, as you exhale, I want you to imagine that you're going to expand past your energetic force field into the all. So go, 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 past your energetic force field. Imagine you're like a light and you're just this big sun, and it's just going, the light is reaching all the way into all infinity. Go, 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 front, back, side, up and down, go. Go, 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 go. Expand into the all. And wherever we left our power, in whatever fragmented experience that we're having as a soul, we're going to imagine that we're going to take it back now. Take it back. And wherever we took it from an unconscious perspective, we give it back. Now we give it back. We give it back. And then we come back in our center. And again, we land here. On the floor, in your body, land. Because by landing, we also give ourselves the capacity and the ability to rest. Just, so I can just rest. I can just give myself a moment to land where I am, wherever that is. My heart is holding both polar experiences. The polarized experiences. So I land, I land, I land, I land again and again and again. I continue to bring my attention from here down into my heart. And continue to breathe and let all my cells be reminded. Be reminded, right? Of that feeling. So for me, is laughter. You know, after your meditation, I'm curious to see, what your two polarized experiences were, right? Maybe it's just dull, nothing, or maybe it's a deep pain and grief, and the other experience, whatever it is. And in your energetic field, wake up, to consciously wake up to experiencing them both. So here's the thing, this is where like the internal work and the internal experience, where we need to slow it down, be internal, feel. Also can now, your internal experience can be also what meets your external experience. from that sensorial place. So holding those two places in your heart and seeing from behind your eyes that experience in the world. Because when you can hold it in yourself, you can hold it in the experience in the world. And I'm not telling you to go test it out and, watch things that are things that are overly traumatic. But the truth of the matter is, life is traumatic. It's unimaginable, it's painful, it's horrific, and life is beautiful. There's awe, there's inspiration, there's the hearts of people, there's innocence, there's creativity. So as a collective, we start to permeate our capacity to not spiral so far into insanity or so far into the light that we hate it here on earth, right? Because that's the practice here, right? As this dualistic earth school, to hold both. And if we kind of rise up from our soul is just like, oh, our soul is simply here to experience, period. But because we're experiencing through a human lens, we're like, oh my God, that's good and that's bad. When all of it is an experience, and it's not negating things that are very traumatic experiences. That's not what I'm trying to do. But there's a part of us that can hold our humanity, right? Our experience here, so that we can move forward in choice, in conscious choice, in the free will of how we want to experience and create our internal world, thus experiencing and creating our external world. It has to start from within. And then the actions, whatever we need to do, will become more clear. But we know, right? And here's the thing. We all know when you've been around somebody in a peaceful, harmonic state, you become more harmonious, right? Like you can be breaking down, and if somebody is in a peaceful, centered state and just holding space for you, because their nervous system and their energetic force field and their prayers from a soul level are transmitting, because it just does. We are empathic beings, so we're going to feel each other, and we are one being, so we're going to feel each other, right? We know that it affects at least our own self, but we also know, just being close to harmony creates a harmonic resonance in the field. So that's where we can begin. We can begin to at least allow our harmonic field of resonance to vibrate in a way that allows us and other people around us to choose from the heart place and to hold pain from a place where we're awake to it. We're not trying to hide from it. We're not trying to heal it away. We're awake to it. And that's kind of what's happening, right, on this earth. And we all know this if you've studied any kind of wounds. Before the wound dissolves itself or becomes less dense, it like in your face, feeling it, everything, right? We all know that if we've been doing healing work, right? And that's what happens in the collective as well. All of the deep, darkness of humanity continues to emerge. And historically, you start to see actually it is continuing to dissolve. you know. But sometimes, you know, one more is already more than too much. So I'm not trying to, what's the word, reason, but we still have to look historically of the kind of barbaric and nature that continues to emerge and then evolve. So if we want to project a timeline where that continues to dissolve, we must be able to see that timeline and live in that timeline, right? Because if you just like put yourself back in many different eras, right? and thought, well, this is the, and in your mind thought, well, this is the only way, and there was all humans thinking that way, well, then we would have kept the field of that reality. So we can continue just as we've been doing, right? It's not like I'm just talking magic woo-woo, like we've been doing this as we evolve, right? And evolution now and the speed of things that are happening are like what happened in 100 years is now happening in 1 year. So as a collective, if we continue to see a future timeline and we are living that timeline where there is harmony and peace, and that warring energy continues to dissolve, right? We don't anchor, right? Because if we only anchor what is, for example, again, if you go back 100 years and all we did was anchor that reality, then it doesn't dissolve, it doesn't evolve, it doesn't transmute and transform. So that's that, this is that opportunity. This is a point in opportunity for humanity. Yeah, and again, you know, it's like, sometimes, you know, when we try to offer what our perspective, we can be like, they can be met with judgment because it's like, oh wow, that's very magical and thinking. But it's like we can only offer what we can offer, and this is what I can offer at this moment of, at least from a personal practice, understanding that that personal practice affects the collective. We've seen it in our own life. We've seen it historically, right? So even that energy, you know, that energy of, well, that solution is not, like, that's just dumb. And that's like, you know, it's like, I think we're all doing our best when we speak to something that's painful. We're all trying to heal. We're all trying to, like, you know, move towards a timeline that has more harmony. So it doesn't really give anybody the collective anything if we're kind of like taking each other down for trying. Right? And so that's all we can really do, is we try to practice in an experiential way, and then we make decisions from there. Right? And this, my practice has been my practice, but also holding space for many who are suffering the sort of the secondary effects, the emotional effects. And that's where I'm at. That's my, let's say, capacity at this moment. You know, we all have our gifts. You know, some are more active warriors, some are light warriors. And so, you know, we offer what we can offer, and it's not to prophesize, it's not to who's better, who's right, what's the right thing. It's just that all humans have a unique offering and gift to the world. So when we do our work, we can also offer our work to the world. So that's, you know, that's why I came today. Even though sort of, you know, I was sort of a little bit, what's the word, full with helping many clients on an emotional level, energetic level, right, on a trauma level. And in order for me to do that, I kind of have to also center in my own practice. So hopefully this was helpful for you. I would love to hear, what was in your heart and what it is you brought in, and we can celebrate you, and that's it. So next week I'll come with a training. I have some ideas, and we'll do that. And if there's any questions, also know that I'm going to be changing the name soon, so tune in for that. And of course, if you have any questions about healing or business, then DM me and let me know. I'm very happy to hop on a call with you and answer those questions. Just get sometimes we spin with the same thing, or we're stuck in the same place. And even if we're a healer and a coach, it's like we kind of, my mother coach would always say, like, you can be the best massage therapist, but we can't massage our own back. So sometimes just speaking it out loud and having something mirror back to you, where it is that you feel that you need that healing, or where you're stuck, and where it is in your business that may be the next most obvious, most profitable action energetically and financially. So DM me, and I'm very happy to start that communication, because that's where it starts. One moment and 1 millisecond. In every moment, in every millisecond, we create our life. So any moment and millisecond we have a thought and an action, we change the trajectory of our life. And the more we can get clear on what timeline we want to be on, and the more we can have people support that vision, right, then that's kind of the formula. Because we all know we don't heal alone. I know, I have my mentors, and I'm going to be on my call just in 5 minutes after this, because I have a vision and I have a dream, and that requires support, right? So if you feel you need that, reach out to whoever you feel like you need to reach out, or you can also DM me. I'm very happy to answer any of your questions. I will be here next week, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you, and I look forward to hearing from you. Bye, guys.